propose the legislation, but only the league was singled out. So we'd be happy to know that that is dead in the water, the changing of the OPRS and the Open Public Meetings Act of Senator Weinberg. For now. For now. I had the opportunity to be a guest at the Somerville Elks Flag Day ceremony in Somerville. It was really a lot of fun. It was great weather. They had a good turnout. It was great activities and an excellent learning experience for the families involved. The library is having a push on the pavers. If you are interested in memorializing your family or someone else that you've known in town, I mean, a lot of you that are here in the audience now are second and third generation. They're $75 a piece. There are about 900 left. So if you're interested in purchasing one or more than one, please fill out the form and give it to Mary Jane. If you want your blocks together to memorialize a family, your mother's side, your father's side, your children, whoever, your dog, your cat, that can be accommodated. So it's a very worthwhile activity, and everybody should participate in that.
Where do we get the form?
At the library. We have them downstairs too. We don't usually acknowledge the passing of a private citizen, but I feel that I need to do this. Raritan lost a really good person last week in Ali DeLucci. Ali was the fourth generation to run his family's pizzeria, and everybody in this room and all of us up here have memories of going, some of us worked in DeLucci's when we were younger, about what a great place it was. That's where you went out. If you didn't go to Orlando's, you went to DeLucci's, and you had pizza after the 8th grade dance, or you went there out with your date after you went to the movies. It was a Raritan institution. And Ali and his brother have been running it for many years since their dad died, and their dad took it over from their grandfather. And Ali's son Christian is now the fourth generation running the pizzeria. Ali was a great golfer, he was a great friend, and his humanitarianism and his kind smile and the great pizzas he made will certainly be missed. I also want to wish everyone a very happy and safe 4th of July. If you are traveling, be a responsible driver. We don't need any more DUIs in our municipal court. We're already maxed out with that. So hope everyone has a really, really good, happy 4th of July. Okay, moving along, we come to old business. Mr. Fooey, that's yours.
Well, Mayor, now that we have approved this, guidelines for broadcasting of council meetings, there's a few items I need the council approval for. First of which, I'd like to proceed and start on the next meeting, July 14th, recording and possibly broadcasting if we have the connection ready to go. And I'll put that in the form of a motion that we begin on July 14th.
Motion has been made to begin broadcasting. Now, explain to me what you mean by going, what did you say? Was it going public or broadcasting?
Recording and broadcasting. Recording for the purpose of uploading it to YouTube and then putting a link on our Borough website.
So it won't be broadcast on a specific channel on either Verizon or...
Well,
at this point.
I'm still waiting for special audio cables, and if I get them in time and everything works fine, we should be able to broadcast on Cablevision on July 14th.
All right, so
Verizon is a different story, and that's another item I will get to after this. But I'll put that in the form of a motion that we begin on July 14th.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made, seconded to begin recording council meetings on July 14th.
Councilwoman Cara?
No.
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
I still disagree with point 4 of the rules. I have to say no.
Council President Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
No.
Take time? I say yes.
Thank you. Second item, as I mentioned Verizon. we don't have a connection in this building for Verizon. Now, what they have to do is connect us to the connection that the high school has. We will be sharing the channel, as we'll be sharing the channel with Cablevision. But they need from us is something on letterhead, a letter to say, for them to start to proceed. Again, it doesn't cost us anything, they have to provide us with the access. And Dan Jaxel put together a draft letter, which everyone saw previously. And it's a simple letter just saying, we want you to proceed to start the process of getting us a connection in the building. So I put that in the form of a motion.
Second that?
Councilwoman Karen,
No.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi,
No.
Council President LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
No. Yes.
Thank you. And this last item is the paying of the high school students to operate the camera. Now, these students are coming from the media club, so they're very capable of filming a council meeting. They're doing documentaries over there, so for them to do a council meeting is not a big deal. The pay scale that I came up with was based on what they pay a person to operate the camera in Branchburg, and that is $12.50 an hour with a minimum of $25 per meeting. So if a meeting only goes an hour and a half, they still get a guaranteed $25. And to start, we have two students, one for the first meeting and one for the second meeting, but there's going to be a rotation. And they're not really borough employees, it's just like a contractor, basically. You're paying them to do the job for one night. And I feel that by paying them, they would be more reliable and responsible. And it's not a lot of money either. But also give them experience and something to put on a resume. But anyway, I put that in the form of a motion.
Can I ask, they'll make more than a part-time labor for public works.
Yeah, but they're not a part-time labor. They're not working, they're not a borough employee. It's a contract. No, I think it's those rare occurrences where we go over 2 hours, if they have to be here 2.5 hours or something like that, it's prorated.
So we're the 1099s, these people are independent contractors?
Typically 1099,
Are
yeah.
they adults? Are they 18-year-old seniors, or are they 60-year-old?
Well, what I told them, anybody who's under 18, they have to submit work papers, consent by the parents. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Did you research that issue?
Yes?
Yeah, how about doing something on age 18?
Yeah, our CFO said that. She said it would be okay.
I know we talked about it, I'm not gonna.
I know,
It's easy.
I question that myself.
It's the easiest way to do it.
We can't form a contract with anyone who's not of age.
That's right. So it's no different than you pay the high school student to go.
You can employ someone, if they're acting in the context of an independent contractor, then you have that employment agreement that you're, or a contract with your license. Right? So if they're already age 18, the majority of people are going to decide on that themselves.
Could this agreement be made with the audio visual club, that the money will go to the club, not necessarily to the individual person? See, I have a real problem with that, and I've had that problem from the get-go.
Let me talk to the teacher who runs the media club and see what he says. But we can still proceed on the 14th. We can just make it retroactive once we do it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the idea, I just don't know, I want to be sure that we can actually do that. We have, we should put this 1099 ability to have, it's a contract with someone who's not age majority.
When we do to hire the high school student to plant flowers.
We should have them as an employee, some way to be on the payroll.
Well, there's a one-time job, but not a regular.
Just say, for example, if you enter into a contract to sell your car to someone who's 16 years old and you say, hey, came for a test drive, I'll sell it for $8,000 and they crash into a tree, you definitely have no recourse against them because you don't have a valid contract because they're not paid for the yard.
Technically, but the contract would have to be crafted between the parents of the child.
Right, and I don't know if a parent can contract out their son or daughter to do, you know, I just don't know, obviously the child labor laws are very strict in the state of New Jersey in general, I would just like not to concede
You
that.
have to be 14 years old to have working papers, so once they are 14 years old and have
You hire
working
them.
papers,
You're not talking about hiring, you're talking about contracting. So,
so that needs to be looked into.
I would just, yeah, with permission, I'll look into that. I just don't, the child labor laws are, you know,
In the meantime, we can have a volunteer man the camera.
whatever you want.
Well, you could also agree that if you have to hire them as an employee, that you can proceed.
That's true, you know, yeah.
But that's just anything else?
That's it, Mayor.
So the student thing, hold on a second. So the student thing is still kind of up in the air. You're going to look into that, but on the 14th, we're going to proceed with a volunteer.
Well, why can't we proceed with, see, I already had two scheduled points, that's the first one, the second.
Part 18.
No,
But we can't because we don't have the law. I don't want to get these kids in trouble or the borough. So why don't we proceed with a volunteer on the 14th until we know the law, until we know exactly, to make sure that we don't get these kids in trouble or put the municipality in any kind of,
Put the club in jeopardy.
yeah, or the club in
or,
jeopardy as
or
well.
we can resolve that by the 14th.
But why don't we have the vote?
Can we vote on if it's all resolved?
Contingent upon.
Contingent upon working out the legalities of it. Do that.
Is that a motion?
It's a motion.
I'll second it.
So a motion's been made of the going to approve it contingent upon the resolution of all of these questions.
Councilwoman Carr,
No.
Councilman Cooley,
Yes.
Councilman Jarrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jarrett. Councilman,
No.
Council President Lavelle.
Aye.
Councilman Bowdoin.
No.
Yes.
All right, moving along to,
Excuse me, Mayor.
yes, you were going to email out to all of us?
Yes.
Okay, because we all know what's going on.
All right, property maintenance cell phone reimbursement. Dan, that's yours.
Property maintenance official has been using a second cell phone essentially on his own. So that a lot of inspections get pulled.
Is it a
for
borough cell
weekends.
phone?
Yes.
Okay.
He would prefer, and I think I can understand it, not to always be having two. He uses it a lot. To just simply have, we'll get rid of it, save that cost, and reimburse him $25 for all use, and then you would know the number, and he would use it for
I don't have
all
a problem with
business.
that.
That's fine.
Sure.
All right, and the last thing we have under new business is a letter from St. Anne's Festive, Monsignor Corona and St. Anne's Festive Committee, asking permission to close, using movable wooden horses to close Second Avenue from the corner of the school property to the corner of the convent parking lot. Since we're planning to use the property in front of the school and convent parking lot as additional areas for the festa. Apparently, this was written on May the 16th, and it was routed to the chief, and we never really got a chance to see it, so I don't think, does anyone have a problem with that? No. All right, so that's a go ahead and do.
I have one question for Dan. Whatever happened to our street signs that we ordered?
We haven't put them down. They're protected. We have them. They look beautiful. We
Okay.
just haven't had time to put them up.
Oh, okay.
While we're talking about signs, what is going on with the sign on Whittier Street? Why is it not functioning yet, the speed sign?
Jim Ruggieri is trying to help us out. That's why, I mean, I hate to dump it on him, but that's the case. We've had a conversation. We told him where the sign is, what the problem is. You know, the line we've been getting to the county is it's not really our fault. Stan, as you know, we've tried to communicate with him to get, he's trying to go whatever channels he can get.
It is their fault, because they put it in the wrong spot.
The correspondence was interesting, what's wrong, it's not working, well,
Yeah, it's never worked.
It's never,
Right.
well,
It's
how-
never worked.
but it's never worked, so it can't be our responsibility, there's gotta be some warranty. Because it never worked, if it worked and it stopped, we haven't gotten anywhere.
It's probably something really simple, like one wire isn't touching another wire on the
But it should be our responsibility.
No, it shouldn't.
We never accept it, so we should be responsible for fixing it.
All right, we come to the second portion of public comment. Anyone wishing to be heard? Adele?
Delgash, 6 Media Street. Just a comment, my grandson was at the pool opening day, and Frelinghuysen the pool, Public Works did a great job. It's painted, the buildings are painted, it looks really good. The only comment, and I know it's really early in the game, but under those picnic tables, the stones, not a great idea. You have to have a sign out that you have to put your footwear on to walk on them. And that's inside the pool enclosure. So I don't know if there's a solution to that.
Well, they put a mat across it,
They have
the
one
front
mat
of
to
it,
make
but,
it's
we went with
not
recommend-
ideal.
right, but we went with recommendations from everybody because we wanted to pave it. And this was the roundest stone we could get in there, and,
Okay.
maybe they still would like to pave it, but we're concerned about the deterioration of the roots underneath it.
Just a comment, but the pool was open on time. So, another comment, on LaGrange Street, the house with the blue tarp,
Yes, I've had many conversations with,
why is it like that?
all right, right now, it is in, the word I'm gonna use is receivership. It's probably the wrong term. But it's one of these houses that's being controlled, that the mortgage has been purchased by a large conglomerate. We have this problem with a number of houses, and it's not just us, it's other towns too, talking to other people. The house has been purchased by this conglomerate, and you call the number that you're given, and you get, yeah, we'll take care of it, we'll take care of it, we'll take care of it. The solution is, we go out there and we take care of the property and put a lien on it. And do we collect from, because to tell you the truth, Adele, these conglomerates don't give
I realize that position, but like, it's been like
it's been
that
like that since ever.
forever.
It's like the
Mayor,
one on
if I-
Tillman
but
Street,
if I can
it's the same
interject-
thing.
If I can interject, as a municipality,
It looks awful.
we take first precedent over all of this. So if we
Yes.
put the lien on, we override all the other
Yes.
liens on that property. So if
Yes.
someone's gonna buy that, because we would take precedent over those other liens.
Right.
So it might be in the borough's better
But
financial.
it's more than just going out there and cutting the grass, because at this point, the porch is deteriorating, the porch is falling apart. Anybody who goes up on that porch is gonna fall through it.
There's a lot of things
There's a
wrong
lot
with
of
that
things wrong
house,
with it.
It's a slate roof too, right?
but
It's
it's
a
got an
slate
old
roof.
slate roof,
Yes.
and I think the slate was falling off. So the solution was to put it covers the entire roof.
I know it is.
And
And
you
now-
just can't,
And now it blew off.
it's
so
half
it's
its head,
hanging
half its
down
flapping. If I
on the
was a
side.
neighbor of that, I would lose, it makes noise, I would lose my mind.
Yeah,
But
but what kind of repairs can we make? I can see cutting the grass.
That's it.
and doing
Cutting
those stuff.
the grass.
We're gonna start rebuilding the house.
The house needs to be rebuilt. It
But
really does.
I thought under the zoning and construction, I thought that it had to be a certain structurally sound to a certain extent before the municipality almost had to step into it to a degree.
I don't know, when,
Well, you're talking about condemning it,
Yeah.
you're talking
you're
about
talking about
condemning it.
condemning it, yes.
It's treated as an abandoned, unfit building.
Right.
It would almost fall under that category as a.
Well, then that's prime for the one on Tillman Street too, then.
So that
That's,
process is you.
That process, though, somebody, I
It's
think,
a slippery
purchased that one.
slope, but
Really?
it
We always
really is.
identify all that.
Yes.
And this, legally, what you can do,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
not saying you do this, but you can, basically file a complaint against the property owner and the property itself, saying it's unfit for,
that goes on for years and years and
No.
years.
No,
You
it
know that as
doesn't.
well
No,
as
it
I do.
doesn't.
No, it
No.
doesn't actually.
It's been going on for years over there on Tillman Street.
No.
On
That might-
Tillman Street, yeah.
And
Right.
I'm just saying, so you have house A that's falling apart, it's in disrepair, that poses a danger to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Borough, where you file a complaint against the property and the property owners, you notice that complaint, you have a hearing before the council. You have Ligera or some other person testify and enter evidence as to the condition of that property, and give their opinion that it poses a danger to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents. Then you issue an order saying, fix it up, or we're gonna tear it down. And if we tear it down, it's gonna be a lien against the property. So they
And the
fix
borough
it
will
up.
take precedence
It's still a
against any
slippery
other
slope.
lien.
If you wanna do it, do it.
It's not a
It's
slippery
not-
slope.
it's
You
not-
know,
it's
I'm
not-
telling you.
I'm just saying legally, you can do that if you wanna do that, and you can
That-
raise it.
that's
You know,
and-
who do you go after, who don't you
That's
go
not the
after?
same term as that dreaded.
And if I can jump in
We
on
reviewed
Tillman.
that ordinance, we looked at the model from Phillipsburg before you were
Right.
here, but then you
Right.
voted
And
against that.
And if I can jump in on Tillman Street, in all fairness to Tillman Street, every time we tried to take action on Tillman Street, that property was supposed to go up for sheriff's sale,
Right.
and then it kept getting pulled on sheriff's sale. So every time we tried to take action, it was up for sheriff's sale. And then every time people went to go buy it on sheriff's sale, it miraculously disappeared from the sheriff's
Yeah,
sale.
that's all
So
tried.
it was not us not acting, we did take the actions, it just kept disappearing from the sheriff's sale. So we were doing what we were supposed
So
to
do we-
It kept getting pulled.
Dan is saying that it's a slippery slope, but do we leave it there, and do we let it become more of an eyesore? Do we let it become an attractive nuisance? Do we have somebody get hurt on the place? Is there the possibility that there could be an electrical short and we have a fire on the street? And you know how close those houses are on LaGrange Street.
All right, listen,
Let's do something.
I
about it.
understand what Dan's saying, and if you have an individual, maybe you don't want to do that, but this is a conglomerate that no one even knows apparently who they are. They're not responsive to anything, so there should be a course of action. I don't know what it should be, but
Because
you can't leave it like
I
that.
checked it out with Lisa, and then Lisa looked it up, and she gave me the name of this, and she says they handle thousands of
If I can ask the
abandoned houses.
council, if we could please ask Rich to put on the agenda for the next council meeting, let's re-examine the ordinance that the council has already shot down, that we tried to look into last time, because that is what we
That's what we
need.
need.
We wanted to put it on,
I think you actually have, what I did last time, if I recall.
no,
was
we shot it
actually-
down 2 years ago. The council
Right, but I
shot
think-
it down 2 years ago.
Oh, before I was here?
No,
Yeah,
or when you were
yeah,
here.
Just when you
yeah,
first
Yeah.
got in.
in spite of it.
Well, that was no, the ordinance I think that I did was a weed and debris ordinance. I think you actually had an unfinished buildings ordinance on.
No, check, Rich, because I'm pretty sure that was.
That's gonna
Not to
include,
that extent.
that's gonna include commercial buildings as well?
It's all encompassed under the same thing.
I have to vote on sort of the same thing.
Because Adele, there's
That's
more than
another-
that.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that.
It's ridiculous.
I know, but this is so,
No, I
like,
know.
it sticks out so bad.
Because there's more than one that has that blue tarp on it. There's others that have that blue tarp on it too.
One other question. I'm just curious because people are asking, is Riverfest dead for this year or is there a little?
We have a conversation going with the Moose about using their license for the duck race. I have, Don Christensen is handling it, he's been the liaison for the go-between, let's say, to the Moose. So I'm going to have a meeting with him on Thursday morning, and he's going to look at just,
So we have a River Fest?
depends on what their reaction
Well,
is.
that's two things, the duck race and the River
It's
Fest.
two separate things.
So
yes.
handling that as one, we don't have either at this point?
It all depends, the duck race depends on that.
But what about the River Fest?
The Riverfest, I'm not sure about it.
So we don't know.
All right, one other curiosity, the camera. I just wonder, I'm curious about it tonight.
This is a private citizen filming.
And then what happens to it? Just curiosity. Can I ask him directly? Or
Would you like to answer that question?
Yes, I'm not 100% sure. This is a test. I want to make it interesting. And Paul said something to me that was very legit last time, that no one watches C-SPAN, and I agree with that. Something like this would be a yawn. But what I want to try to do is videotape edit it with a couple of links to some of the resolutions, maybe a 2-minute segment when you said about Ali DeLucia, so the public gets a menu in front of them.
but that would go on your website.
It would be on my
That's what I-
website, yeah. It'd be my Raritan-Online would have the menu of the slices of the video. And of course, the whole video itself would be on YouTube, so you could watch the whole video unedited if you wanted. But I want to make it interesting so people might follow government. Because usually it's so boring that even I, who try to follow things, I last 30 seconds on C-SPAN. And I'm trying to make it
And do you want
interesting.
to do that? You just come in and,
Well, you need to make arrangements to
For
for the 24-hour notice with our clerk. This ordinance has been on the books since, I can tell you.
Actually, the
Since
Supreme-
September 11th, 2007.
Actually, the Supreme Court has ruled that any member of the public can record a public meeting.
I
provided
could
it-
understand report, but I was curious about them, what do you do? Are you allowed then to show that wherever you want it to?
Public meeting.
Which one is
Is
it?
there anyone else who would like to get heard during the second portion of public comment? No.
Jun23, Major Avenue. I just have a comment about this Riverfest. I started the Riverfest, worked with the Riverfest, worked with Stephanie, worked with Denise, raised $28,000 for the Riverfest. Gave the fire department $7,000, and here last week, you guys, we were worried about $2,000. We raised $7,000 for an event that they never get any charity. Asked you guys in November, asked you guys in December, asked you guys in January. For some reason, I wasn't allowed to redo my Riverfest. Now we were in a perfect position in November to do the Riverfest. And it probably would have been an unbelievable amount of money to put the position we're in with other, as Denise knows, people that are donating money with us. So I don't know how you're gonna run a Riverfest if you didn't file for all your nooks and crannies, and it's gonna take you a month to get your permit. So what really aggravates me overall is, I lost my election, we won't go there, and I asked 3 times, all asked once, to do it, and my back was turned. But in April, after all the primaries were done, I was getting phone calls to come talk about it.
Well, we sat, you and I and Don Christensen sat in my office and we discussed it, and I told you you would be, more than willing to do it, and
I told you too late.
You told me you didn't have time.
But what happened to November, October, November, it was all perfect. What stopped you? What stopped you from you didn't
Well,
do...
you did partially, Don, because I
You
tried
did. When was that?
setting up a meeting.
What was that? April.
Whatever it was, you
It was
were the
April.
obstacle in that situation, though. I tried setting up a meeting with you at your office, with me
April.
and the chairman of the Economic Development Committee.
April.
You asked if the mayor was going to come, and I said she's not available. And you
Okay.
said, well, then I don't want to meet. I set up
But I
another meeting.
asked you
I
in
set up, let me
April.
finish, Don. I set up another meeting after that at Borough Hall where the mayor could attend, and you wouldn't come to Borough Hall. So at that point, I don't
But
know.
I asked, that was all in April, there was no time for
Yeah, 6 months before.
So,
He did, he had 6 months before, so he did. What
Yeah,
would you
actually,
say?
6 months.
He asked you too, you know?
We've got, if you want to handle it,
And I
there is
asked,
no handling that, there's
you want to handle
no...
it, you can
Yeah,
handle it
6
at
months
this
ago.
point.
People defer.
Anyone else?
well, I don't know who is trying to blame here on that, so that's
I'm
my
trying to
concern.
play by not renewing
Well,
things.
Fred, he did ask 3 times. And we could have said yes, and that would have been the end of it. You know.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? All right, seeing no one, I'll close the second portion of public comment. Our next meeting is July the 14th, which will be an agenda workshop meeting. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
That's
So
the-
moved.
Dan.
Second?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.
Aye.
Anyone else?